Peace, fam. Yo. All right, I'm just gonna keep this video as quick as possible and as concise as possible because you can only transfer so much MB. I think it's 16 MB on the WhatsApp. So don't leave a lot of time. So basically, to refer back to the message I was putting out the other day, those of you who know, you're right, Key?
You talking to me?
No. Basically, yeah, a few guys missed the sharing. Basically, it's just info, just to enlighten the mind and food for thought, and just for what we need to really be aware of in case we're not aware that we need to be aware of certain things. And a few guys missed the message. It was voice memo. It was just spontaneous, middle of the night, middle of my drowsy state. So and it went on for a bit, and it's hard to transfer media. Basically, I'll keep this as concise as possible. Then we just want to look at what time of the year it is, and what it means, what its significance is, how that's been fabricated and manipulated, and then retranslated and served back to us. What that does to us in effect, and what it doesn't allow us to do, basically. And we're going to start with the Christmas time. Obviously, we just all come through that very festive period. Basically, what we have to bear in mind is that everything is in relation to the astrological workings. So when we're dealing with calendar, when we're dealing with any holidays or holy days, it's all in reference to our ancestry, our teachings, our stories, which were all pertaining to the as above, which then obviously reflects in ourselves, and we just become another essence or expression of that. So yeah, what happens? Winter solstice is when I sent the original message when it first came through. Now, obviously, we know the significance of winter solstice. If we don't, it's just basically the sun being at its lowest point at noon on that day, and then which happens to be the shortest day of the year, the less sunlight. So we could say the darkest day of the year without putting a negative spin on dark. Dark is the purest form of light. So basically, now within that day. The shortest date. This is when the sun finishes its decline, because the sun it appears to be always moving from the earthly standpoint. So summer it's at the highest, winter it drops back down. December 21st is its lowest point, the darkest day. We're getting the less rays, and then what happens is something very unprecedented in terms of the sun cycle. Which is the yearly cycle. And that is basically the sun appears stagnant for 3 days when being observed from the earth as the ancestors observed it. And this applied through, this is verified through across all cultures, all civilizations. The sun appeared to become stagnant, not moving, for 3 days after the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. On the 25th of December, it starts its inclination, its rise again. Basically, they call this the birth of the sun, the new birth. The sun rebirths itself every year. So this is the birth of the Son of God. Obviously, we know the whole Christian narrative. That obviously grew up in the Christian doctrines and were surrounded by it, and we're bombarded with it, especially at Christmas and whatnot. We used to be. So what happens in the Christian narrative is obviously Jesus is just taking over the role of the Son. He becomes that blocker, that deceptor, that deflects your light and you're channeling your energies, the middleman. So stop you communicating fully with your higher self. So and that's why his death his birth is celebrated on the 1st of the 25th of December. Otherwise, no one knows when he was born and all of that rubbish. He died for 3 days. They call the sun. They say the sun was at its death when it was still for 3 days as it wasn't moving. And he resurrected after 3 days, which is the 25th of December. It's all about the sun. It's all about the sun in astrology. Now, what's significant about that is, regardless of the narrative of Christianity and Jesus and all that crap, and for everyone's information, there's a plethora, there's a world of gods that are born on the 25th of December. That's to say, there's so many cultures and creeds and doctrines that have hijacked this time. But what we have to realize is, why is this time hijacked? Why do they feel the need to fill the space? And we're going to look at why to do that and how to do that. So basically, in this time, after that 21st of December, this week is one of the most powerful weeks of the year, in reference to the gifts that the universe sends. it showers the earth with gifts of light and energy and force. Now that's for us. See, what we're supposed to do is be a reflection of the sun, of the celestial body. We're just a human body of reflection of the celestial body. So this is a time this week when we're supposed to become still like the sun and basically absorb as much as possible of this. All right, we're trying to get video bombed. As absorb as much as possible of this light, this force, this energy. And what's significant about this energy, because the atmosphere becomes susceptible to it, to get the floodgates of heaven open up. Do you know what I mean? And it pours and showers in. This is gifts from the universe. And now we become open to receive it. So, and there's ways to receive it and to receive the best form of energy, especially light or sound or anything. Even when you want to clean and get, when you want to cultivate your own energy. And the best methods to do this have always been fasting 40 days, 40 nights, fasting. Are you getting in the video, son? Fasting, cleansing, meditating. This is how you awake your spiritual self and receive and tune in to the outer universe. So this week in particular is a very significant time. We should be fasting. We should be still. We should be meditating. We should be open to receive and also open to give, open to sharing, which we are. Because we are by an innate nature, because we as human bodies and beings, therefore we are in tune with nature's cycles, not Gregorian calendar cycles, Roman, Vatican, Greek, Orthodox, all these other forms of timelines and calendar. That's got nothing to do with us at all. They keep it relatively close because they have to in order to operate, but it's got nothing to do with us. You see, the new year starts on the 25th of December. Why? Because the sun starts its inclination, its rise, it's set off again on the 25th of December, the new birth of the new cycle, the new yearly cycle, 360 degrees, 365, but there's a whole reasoning behind that, this whole context behind the extra 5 days, but 360 degrees. So this is when the new year starts, according to nature, according to universal law, according to God, according to all the animals and all the living bioorganisms that exist on the planet, except for us, because our minds have been twisted, and now they took us out of synchronization, because to put the start of the new year back a week. Now, what's the significance of that? Because don't forget, innately we're open to consumption. We open up to receive this flood, this showering of gifts. We open up to receive this showering of gifts, so we're open to consumption. But it's what form of consumption? It's light, it's energy, it's force, it's cosmic intelligence and knowledge and activation. They've got us pigging out, literally stuffing ourselves, yeah, because of this festive season. Yeah, so this is, this is the biggest shopping week of the year for food, for alcohol, for drugs, all the drugs, for presents, for toys, all of this crap. Because we're open to consume, they're exploiting and manipulating and taking advantage of our innate nature. See, they know we're going to consume, so they've got us consuming meats, turkeys, lambs, roast beef, pork, and all of the bloody, dreadful meats that inhibit our spiritual receptiveness, because our bodies then filled up with other spirits and energy bodies, which have really got no place in the body, but we're getting there. They've got us filling up with cakes and pastries and all these sugars and salts that are not real sugars and salts as it applies to the vegetable kingdom and the plant kingdom. They're all drugs and alcohol. This is where we get drunk the most. Yeah, it's Christmas, so we're stocked. Everyone's kitchen is piled high with bottles and all the goodies. Everything's reversed in this reality. All the goodies, which are actually the baddies, all the treats, all the sweets, all the pastries, all the oils. See, we're filling up with this, and we're basically inhibiting ourselves to receive the light, because now our body's so intoxicated and contaminated with junk and drugs, that we're kind of switching ourselves off. We're toning that we're lowering the vibratory field, we're lowering down the vibration, like onto it, we're turning it down onto low, low, low. But the thing is, everyone feels merry, and that's because of the showering of energy that's happening. So regardless whether you're poor, whether you're rich, whether you're Christian or not, everyone feels merry at Christmas time. That's because we get drunk off the energy, off the force, off the love that's coming in. So everyone's got that feeling. Now, everyone's also, because the universe is so giving at this time, we are a mere reflection of it, another body in a different form of the universe. So we become receptive, we become basically turned on to the idea of giving. We can't help it, it's sharing. So now they, whoever they are to you, everyone's got their own picture of they, depends how deep or what level you want to take it to, but the controllers, the influencers, they hijack this very divine part of you that you open up to and you come into because you're sharing. So now they've got advertisements everywhere. Now they've got a belief system programmed in you that ain't got nothing to do with Jesus anymore, because that time's finished. They know that time's done. that only had a 2001 or 200-year clock attached to it anyway. That was a ticking time bomb. It has to finish now. We've moved out of that age. Yeah, the celestial body says. So they know, but now they've transformed it to the commercial world, the robotic world, the technological world. Yeah, which is basically commercialism. We spend on gifts that no one needs, no one wants. By all means, we're supposed to give, but give in the right light. Like, we're supposed to give with love. All right, make something, give something with a good, pure intention, not a PlayStation 4 just because everyone's got one and now your kids want one. And now that's gonna suck out their mind for the rest of the year, to a certain degree. Depending, it's all relative. But you got, so this aspect of it has been hijacked, and we've got to realize why we're out there doing this so freely and readily every year, on point, on cycle. We're preparing for it from September. Do you know what I mean? Because we're tuning into it, and that's being hijacked and manipulated. So we're spending, we're consuming, and what we're not doing is what we're supposed to be doing, which is creating our New Year's resolution. And I say creating because it's not just making a New Year's resolution. So you've got to think about it. You've got to really picture it, and you're supposed to be doing this in your meditative state, because on that 25th of December, when that sun's born, your new solar plexus chakra is reborn again. That's a new you, potentially, depending on how crisp you paint that picture, how much attention to detail you pay when you're making the brushstrokes. Yeah, in your mind, it's a New Year's resolution. Resolution pertains to pixel and picture and light and the clarity. So you get what I'm saying? So everything is vision, everything is this eye. Eye of Ra, eye of Heru, eye of the sun. You get what I'm saying? So that's when we set our New Year's resolution, and we're supposed to be in the purest, cleanest state in order to bring that through and go through that transformation accordingly and appropriately, and thus the energy shower is supposed to propel us into that transformation. So don't pay no attention to this 31st of December, New Year's Eve bullshit, because that's all it is, and it's got you totally out of synchronization. You've already missed the boat, and when you was on that boat, you was drunk out of your head, or intoxicated out of your head, or stuffed, lying on the couch watching EastEnders Omnibus. Now, I'm not speaking to everybody, it's all relative, but I'm saying there's extremes to it. And I know, because I was in one of them extremes. They had me pissed every Christmas. So this was probably the cleanest Christmas I've had in terms of food, fasting, data, but it's been the most powerful. By all means, the most powerful. And I'm turning the insights to what comes through, the realizations, the empowerment, because I fasted and I cleansed, and I got in sync and in tune with what was going on in there through the inner. And this is just me, a little baby practice. We ain't even started with this yet, but just know what's going on and make your own sort of transformational changes to adjust your lifestyle, and especially how you approach this such divine time of year. But by all means, so don't wait for tomorrow to make these New Year's resolutions, today being the 29th. On 30th today, sorry. Don't wait till like it's already started. It's already begun. Furthermore, just clarify. Just you know, add attention to detail. Just get that picture crystal clear how you want it to look. Because now the ball's rolling. The ball being the sun, then it's rolling. Do you get what I'm saying? And we're in the new year. In case you didn't realize, because we get so desensitized to it through all of the crap that was stuffed up with. You know, the talk, everything gets stuffed. Anything that gets stuffed is dead. They talk about stuffing the turkey, the stuffed dead animals. And when we get stuffed at Christmas, you're dead, literally. The majority of your body is dead and inactive and wants to park itself up just to restore restore light, restore the ray ions. That's restoration. Hold tight, Mikey, man. We broke that down. Restoration, restoring the ray. The shun is the ION, the suffix. That pertains to ions. So there's a charge present. The ray is the light, the ra, the ray, R-A-R-E, however you want to put it. And we're restoring it, restacking it. You get what I'm saying? You're not doing that when you're fully loaded off this crap. So I'm just, this message was just try and keeping it concise. Just going into what's really going on, that whole narrative story at Christmas and what the time is. And this is your time, like you're there to receive the gifts. And then you give back, we share. I'm not talking about bloody curling tongues and trainers, and we're talking about real force and energy. But that's it, man. It might have to get sent in a few clips. But yeah, love everybody. You know who you are. Who was kind of on me that they couldn't open up the message. So you got it. I promise I'll do the whole read again for you. But yeah, don't settle for this crap, man. It's our time now. We all know this. Just there's so much more to you, man. Just like do it. Just be more. You know what I mean? Advertisement, man. Just be more, man. Love.